Here is the Australian US dollar. Taking a look at the start, let's start with the monthly. So pretty much here, kind of bounced a bit of this support zone here on the weekly. For now, it looks like this support zone is rather a significant one, psychological wise. So at the moment, it looks like it is holding. What's going on? Taking a look at the daily, so the daily here, somewhat of a bearish momentum going on. So looks like we could pull higher to around here in this zone, and maybe then continue to pull back. So looks something like this here probably. Could also be something like this. Since here is also kind of a resistance zone at the current levels, but we could break in and go a bit higher and then at some point pull lower. Now the 4-hour chart here at the moment forming higher highs and higher lows, so the trend is starting to shift a bit to the upside here. If we take a look at the 1-hour chart, so basically here we could pull back again to the lower line of this wedge that is being formed here, kind of a bit of a resistance zone. So here could the pullback start somewhere around here probably. If we had some indicators, maybe we can find something else. Well, not much for now. The uptrend is still going on, and we will see in the lower time frames probably. So if we draw a wedge again on the 30-minute chart, so something like this probably. So we here had a false breakout, here a false breakout to the downside, and now we could see a breakout again. So breaking this support, this resistance line. So if we pull back and see a retest, then on the lower time frames, if you're scalping, you could target the trend line here, which would then look something maybe like this. It depends on your entry and your exit, of course, as always, but maybe something like this. If you go down the 50-minute chart, so here the breakout is starting. So if you can pull back once again, there could be an entry opportunity, but for now we are going higher all the way. So maybe if we can find something like here that happened here as well, kind of wedge and then a breakout. If it can happen again once more, then there would be an entry. This is what I would look out for, maybe on the 5-minute chart. But for now, the trend is going higher. So if we just break out, then I wouldn't be interested longer in the trend. But this is an option for the Australian US dollar. So then let's check the USDCAD as well. Pretty much what is going on here. If we check the daily, kind of here, getting a bit rejected at this resistance line, the highest point here. After the breakdown, since this was a previous support line, then we broke, and now it's a resistance line. Here we broke this point here, the first time false breakout, and now the second time where we pulled higher, and this could be a retest. which means giving this trend line here would be a time to buy actually, and looking for new highs, since here, like I said, resistance line, false breakout, pullback here, bullish candlestick breakout, and now here is the pullback, so I would here look for buys. At the same time, if we add the EMAs, maybe we can find something interesting as well. Yeah, here the momentum is shifting to the upside on the daily as well, for now at least. So here on the 4-hour chart, kind of a divergence is being formed, which means the trend could start to the bearish trend now could start to turn around to a bullish one. Here again, the trend line here perfectly aligning. So USDCAD is simple here, be a buyer, target the previous high and above, simple 1 to 2 risk reward ratio. Taking a look at the 1-hour chart, so here this kind of wedge is being formed, so maybe if you want to enter a little bit better, could wait kind of for a breakout, as always, retest and then be a buyer. 30 minutes chart, you could pull back once again. 15 minutes, what is happening here? Not much at the moment. So here we could start going to the other side now, since you could see again a cross to the upside on the 5-minute chart. Here the 1-minute chart is, well, 1-minute chart not that important at the moment, to be honest. 30-minute chart. So here, yeah, here we kind of had a straight line, rather here, and here the CCI started to shift, so this is where we could start to turn around. So this is where I would be a buyer, as I said. Long position on the USCAD, simple as that. So taking a look at the US Japanese yen. So basically here, let's check the weekly. Here kind of at the resistance line, but what is being formed here is this kind of pattern where we go higher, since here the CCI pulled back, so we have room on the daily. So on the weekly, the daily is here. This could turn out to be a head and shoulders pattern, since here the CCI is pretty high as well on the daily. But for now on the 4-hour chart, so we broke this area here first time, kind of false breakout here, a bit pulled higher, and now here if we can pull back, this could mean a retest. This zone here could be a bit of a bigger one. And then this could be a continuation to the upside. Here is kind of a trend being formed. So this is what could happen, or at least this is where I would enter a buying position. The 1-hour chart, so looks like we will retest the 50 EMA. Here the CCI pretty low, here along the trend line, so maybe here could be an entry as well. Taking a look at the 30-minute chart, kind of so here not really a setup that looks that interesting to me, but maybe if we see a breakout and then a retest, which would be a simple trade. But here looks like we will pull back before going higher at some point. So for now, I would have to be patient on the USD Japanese yen, although it looks bullish in the longer term. Taking a look at the New Zealand USD. So on the weekly chart, we broke this previous support and resistance line, and now we are going for the retest, which means we could here go lower to, this would be the first target. On the daily here, well, here pretty much at the retest still. 4-hour chart, we had this bearish trend here going on, and here we are now, or we broke here a little bit past it. And so the question is, as always, is this a false breakout or a continuation to the upside? Here, kind of a bullish flag could be formed, which means we could break out and go higher. Well, here next target, and then the next one would be around here. Or if we get rejected here and pull lower, since here is kind of a resistance zone, here a support zone, so we could also head lower on the 4-hour chart. Taking a look at the 1-hour chart. So here pretty much a trend line, and now we are here going a little bit bullish on this trend line. Here, this kind of channel being formed. So if we break this trend line and support line, and then find a retest, I would go for a short. On the other hand, if we break here, find a retest, then I would go for buy, simple as that. 30-minute chart, so we could here see potentially this breakout to the upside for now. So since we are pretty close here to the trend line and this triangle here, it looks like we will see a bigger move. So, but these are the two options for the New Zealand and Australian dollar, at least for now. So wait for a break to either side and then decide, or take your trading strategy, whatever that is.